Hey, I'm a lucky little devil, and most weekends I'm building gaming PCs, running giveaways, and designing mini games over at the Crimson Loot Carnival on Twitch. Today we're talking about something that gets way too much unnecessary negativity, being short. Now, before any tall bros start stretching angrily in the comments, relax. This isn't an anti tall episode. There are obvious pros and cons to being tall, there are obvious pros and cons to being short. But tall advantages get talked about constantly. Short advantages, they get overlooked like optional side quests. So today, we're respecting the short king build. And if you're tall and somehow offended, feel free to cry about it below. I promise I won't need a stepladder to read it. For anyone new here, I hide little Easter eggs in these talks. Throughout this video, I'll casually say 8 letters or numbers inside normal sentences. If you happen to catch all 8 in order, email the full code to giveawaynotices at thecrimsonmarket.com. I'll personally reply with something special. No pressure, just something fun for the attentive ones. All right. Being short is not a debuff, it's an underrated build. First character, S. Let's start with something people don't think about. The world literally feels bigger when you're short. Door frames feel grand. Buildings feel taller. Nature feels more immersive. Tall people are constantly clipping into door frames like broken NPCs. We get full immersion mode. Second character, 3. Cars, comfortable. Bus seats, easy. Train seats, no knee compression. And beds, I genuinely need tall people to explain this to me. Are your feet just hanging off the edge like you're air drying your toes? Are you sleeping in the fetal position at full adult height? Do you have to rotate like a rotisserie chicken halfway through the night? Tell me in the comments because short kings lie down and it's premium real estate. Third character is K. Let's talk hypercars. Have you seen tall guys in hypercars? Their heads are sticking out above the windshield like they're trying to evolve into a convertible. It looks ridiculous. Short kings fit in every car perfectly. No ducking, no folding like origami, no chiropractor subscription required. You look like you belong in the machine instead of escaping from it. Fourth character, 7. Now, here's the physics nobody wants to admit. Scale a human up 100 times in your imagination. Now, imagine that creature burping. That's not a burp, that's a regional weather event. More mass equals more surface area, equals more heat, equals more sweat potential. Short kings run compact hardware. Less output, less collateral damage. Tall guy farts and it has wind resistance. Short guy farts and it's localized. Fifth character, L. If you're maintaining a healthy build, you typically eat less, you drink less, your clothes are cheaper, you literally cost less to maintain as a human being. Toll tax is real. Short kings are economically efficient units. Sixth character, 2. Watch heavyweight fights, now watch lighter divisions. Totally different speed. Acceleration beats intimidation. Being lighter reduces inertia. You burn less energy moving your own body around. Modern life rewards mental agility more than physical dominance. Seventh character is R. Now, let me get slightly scientific. Center of mass matters. The higher of your center of mass is, the more leverage gravity has on you. It's basic physics. If your weight is distributed higher, small shifts create larger rotational force. If your center of mass is lower, you're more stable. That's why race cars are built low to the ground. That's why sports cars feel planted. That's why tall trucks roll easier than sedans. And I've felt this personally. When I'm on a skateboard, balance just feels natural. Lower center of mass, less top heavy sway, less dramatic correction when I lean, it's easier to stabilize. Tall people are basically long inverted pendulums. Short kings are compact gyroscopes. Gravity has less leverage over you. It's literally easier to stay upright. And the eighth character is 8. Here's a huge advantage nobody talks about. People underestimate you. That's leverage. When people don't see you as physically imposing, they relax around you, reveal more, drop their guard, compete less aggressively. Meanwhile, you're observing, learning, building skill quietly. Tall, imposing people often trigger defensive reactions. Short kings trigger comfort. Underestimation is one of the most powerful social buffs in existence. Another underrated perk: shorter people often look younger for longer. Facial proportions and body scaling can delay that aged perception. You get mistaken for being younger more often. That's not an insult, that's longevity perception. More mass equals more strain. Longer bones create more torque on joints. Shorter frames distribute force more compactly. Studies suggest shorter individuals may experience lower joint stress, have reduced cardiac strain on average, possibly have lower rates of certain cancers. Nothing is guaranteed, but biomechanical scaling is real. Efficiency matters. Let's kill the myth. Okay. Let's talk about some of the famous, great, well known people that caused a lot of great things to happen in the world, let's put. So, starting with Alexander the Great, who was actually around 5'6". Some studies show that he was actually around 5'2". Now, some people will say, yeah, people were shorter back in the day, but it's really not as much as what people think. And still, this was shorter than the average people around him, average males around him at that time. Winston Churchill, okay, this is not that far back. Winston Churchill is an ancient, also around 5'6". Bruce Lee, 5'7", and he's known as, one of the best martial artists in the world. You've got Prince, who reshaped music. He was only 5'2". Kevin Hart, who's known as one of the funniest people ever, 5'4". Don't get me started on jester maxing or any of that crap. That's just literally internet babble. Doesn't even exist in the real world unless you're Clav or some shit like that. Tom Cruise, who's 5'7" and still sprinting on rooftops at his age, which is very impressive. And then, of course, you've also got Moist Critical, Penguins, everybody's favorite commentator. You see, influence is not measured in inches. Height obsession comes from primitive tournament animal thinking. Like humans are gorillas fighting for dominance. We're not. Humans evolved for cooperation, long childhood development, pair bonding, social intelligence. Now, if you look at all of the mammals on the earth, you'll find that humans, our children, take the longest time to actually become an adult. So you have to have two parents for a long time. Pair bonding is ingrained in our evolution, in our DNA, in the type of animal that we are. Otherwise, we simply wouldn't even be able to exist. You see, the tall protector fantasy sounds cinematic, but protect from what? Are you fighting bears every weekend? A bear beats any human no matter how tall you are. Technology wins wars. Fighter jets win wars. Missile systems win wars. Tanks win wars. Satellites win wars. Cyber warfare wins wars. Nuclear deterrence wins wars. And none of those things were built by someone winning a height contest. They were built by scientists, engineers, mathematicians, physicists. Modern power is intellectual. It's the person designing the engine, not the person flexing next to it. It's the mind that understands physics, not the body that can reach a high shelf. Look at history. The Industrial Revolution wasn't led by the tallest guy in the room. The space race wasn't won by whoever had the biggest biceps. It was won by teams of engineers calculating trajectories, designing propulsion systems, and understanding orbital mechanics. The real alphas of the modern world are the people who understand systems, people who build chips, people who design aircraft, people who create medical breakthroughs, people who solve equations that move entire industries forward. That's dominance, and none of it requires being 6'5". We don't live in spear and shield times. We live in silicon and steel times. Height is a physical trait, intellect scales civilization. And obviously, you can be smart regardless if you're short or tall. Now, if you're actually short, you probably realized from a young age that the best stat to put more stats into is going to be intellect. So, on average, you might find a lot of people that are short are actually going to be quite smart as they have to utilize their brain more to achieve the things they want in life. Just think about Heimerdinger from League of Legends as a good example. Being short is not a debuff, it's a different build. More comfortable, more efficient, more agile, often underestimated in the best way. Short King meta is strong. And tall people, seriously, explain the bed situation. Are your feet just floating in space every night? I need answers in the comments. If you caught all 8 characters, email them to giveawaynotices at thecrimsonmarket.com. That's little devil's wisdom.